Hi there, it's Dr. Oliver Grady here, archaeologist with the Living Lomonds and OJT Heritage. We just wanted to give you an update about our big dig at Lochore Castle. Dig's over now, seems to have gone really fast after 3 weeks of hard work from all our volunteers and loads of support from the local community. And we just wanted to say a thank you to our funders first, the Heritage Lottery Fund, and also Historic Scotland's Voluntary Sector Fund, and to many of the locals and local groups that have supported us, particularly the Bonarty Heritage Preservation Group. And many of their members were actually involved in the dig and gave us great support when we needed it. Particularly Mary Clark, one of their key members, who's given us a massive amount of support, talking to the local community and also getting stuck in and doing a lot of digging. We had a series of folk who were helping us this year with the very special title of Archaeology Ambassadors, Veronica Lang and Sue Keeley and Joe Fitzpatrick, and they were, real stalwarts of the dig. So thank you guys. I hope you enjoy our little videos that we give you, and we'll be giving you more little tidbits, as it were, as we find out more as we go along. So what did we find? Well, you may remember we had 3 trenches opened this year. They were trial trenches, really, as we'd call in the trade. They're trying to answer specific questions about the site. We had our island trench, which was on the sort of far west side of the site, which went across this big curtain wall we've got here at Lochore Castle, our medieval site dating from about the 14th century, late 14th century. Well, we found the wall, which was much better preserved than we thought. It's a section of the wall that had collapsed, and it was heavily mortar bonded, and we found the foundation trench for it and a whole sequence of occupation layers and demolition layers relating to the castle. Lots of roofing slates, lots of bits of nails, mortar from the walls, render on the walls, and lots of things from people that used to live here. So pottery, window glass, little personal objects, including, very near the end, we found a little ceramic gaming piece that we'll get some photos up online for you. Dates are about the 16th century, 17th century onwards, and it's a reminder of the kind of leisure activities that the knights and landowners who lived at this castle got up to. So that was a nice wee find. In our island trench, just to complete there, Lindsay, who was our archaeologist, bringing it to a finish, she got right down to the base of that trench, and one of the things it was trying to answer was, where did the island come from? Was it natural or was it man-made? Because in Scotland we have these great man-made islands which date back to the early Celtic period, the Iron Age and the early medieval period. Right at the end, Lindsay did a great job, got right down to the base of the trench, and we found this huge layer of boulders that had been man-made, placed there. There was charcoal bonding around it, a big clay layer mixed in with it, and we got some wood, some preserved bits of brushwood. And this is one of the things that we're now going to be doing. So we'll take all that evidence, we'll find out if we can date it, and we'll try and see what species the woods are and other environmental information that will tell us about the wider context of the island. And maybe we'll get evidence to suggest this was an early medieval Celtic island fortress before it was a later medieval castle site. Exciting stuff. So our other 2 trenches, we had our tower trench, which had some of the most spectacular revealed sort of building remains. We got a lovely outline of our tower, our circular defensive tower, which associated with the Barmkin, and some great wee finds from here. Lots of rubble and debitage down the hill, lots of bits and bobs basically from the mining activity that had been spread over the top, so things like miners' shoes. We found quite a few of. Lots of reminders of our recent heritage here at Bonarty and Lochore. But going back to our tower, we found some evidence for the actual building itself. In particular, one of our key volunteers has been with us throughout, Sue Keeley. She found an article of carved masonry, which looked like it came from one of these later medieval into early modern gun loops that we know were slotted into the sides of these round towers. So a reminder that as technology moved on, these castle sites are redeveloped and redefended. So that was a great find. And we found the base of the tower. So there was a stone padded floor surface made of cobbles inside, and it looked like we've got about 3, maybe 2-3 courses of the tower remaining. So we're now in discussions to see if we can actually get that preserved and revealed for you in the future. In our other trench, that's our last trench over what we call the harbour, on the east side of the site. A totally different story there. We were trying to investigate a geophysical feature which looked like one of these cut harbours into the side of the island that the castle used to sit on. Well, archaeology is always, you know, you have to follow the story you find. You never quite know what you're going to get. And it turns out that our reading for our geophysics came from a feature that was much later. It looked like a stone arrangement that was associated with layers to do with the drainage of the loch. So much later than the castle itself. That's the way archaeology goes. But nonetheless, we still find the edge of the island, and the island shoreline dropped down at the point of our dig. And that allowed us to get right down under all the mining and relayering layers that were over the top, lots of modern activity there. And we got down into the nitty-gritty of the loch itself. So we got some really nice, for archaeologists anyway, clay layers and sand layers with lots of organic material in it. About a metre and a half down it went in the end. We sampled all of those soils with what are called thin section samples, so taking slots out of the trench, and lots of bulk samples of soils, and they'll all go for scientific analysis, and they should allow us to reconstruct the environment of the castle, perhaps all the way back to the prehistoric times. So lots of exciting finds to come in the future from the dig. And in addition, all the finds we got, like our window glass from the building, these lovely diamond-shaped glasses, reminds us how wealthy these lords were. Also lots of pottery, a huge range of medieval pottery for the specialists to look at, some of which looks like it's imported from Europe, so another reminder of how well connected these guys who used to live here were. And all of that we'll be telling you about the findings we get in the coming months as we go through. And I just wanted to mention to you, keep an eye on our Facebook page, because we've got some workshops coming up. For those of you more interested in the details of how we figure out from the evidence the story of the past, and also for those of you who are on the dig, we'd love to welcome you back. We've got a series of workshops happening in late October, and they should be advertised soon. And apart from that, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much, and keep an eye on all our general media. We'll keep you informed. We're going to have a series of public talks about the event, and also we'll be putting up some displays here at Lochore Meadows Country Park, and we'd love it if you come along, have a look, see what's going on. Thanks so much, folks, and there'll be more from the Living Lomonds Archaeology next year as well, so plenty to get on with. Okay, great stuff.